Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And today I want to take a moment to talk to you guys about a fragrance that I recently discovered, and it's quickly climbing up the ladder to becoming one of my top 5 or top 10 favorite fragrances of all time. And this is a fragrance by the Italian niche company Mendittorosa, and it's called Alfa. Now, this brand was founded back in 2012. The perfumers behind this one are Anne-Sophie Behagel and Amélie Bourgeois, and they work together to make many of the fragrances released in this house. They are the dynamic duo, if you will. Now, from 2012 to the most recent release, which was 2016, it seems like they've released upwards of 8 fragrances, and there are more in the mix. I've actually had the opportunity to meet up with the creative director, Stefania Squeglia, and she told me about her aspirations for the brand, and she has some really exciting things coming out on the horizon. So this is certainly a brand to check out in the near future. Now, this is one of the original 3 releases. They released 3 fragrances: Alpha, Omega, and Id, which is of course a psychological term. Alpha represents the start, Omega represents the end, and Id represents the rebirth, which I think is a really cool concept. And they've deviated a little bit from that, but they don't like calling these fragrances or perfumes or colognes. They like calling them odors for the soul, or scents for the soul. And I think this is a wonderful company. I'm excited to tell you guys a little bit more about that. Before we get into the heart of the review, I just want to remind my viewers at home, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This way, when I do upload new videos, it will get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any content or having to search anything up. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start things off by taking a look at the presentation. So let's go ahead and take a look at the presentation for this one, and we'll start things off with the box. Really cool box. It has the name of the fragrance engraved there at the top, Mendittorosa Odori d'Anima at the bottom. It's an Italian name, and this company is based out of both Milan and Paris. I know the creative director lives in Italy. So here you have the ingredients, batch number, serial number, UPC code, everything actually opens up on the front here, and the bottle rests in there pretty comfortably. And you also might see this twine with a logo on there. That was keeping the box shut so that it wouldn't open during transit. Completely handcrafted, really, really cool presentation. And then here is the fragrance. So we have the label here on the front. It says Mendittorosa, and on the other side it says Alpha, and it just has an A to represent the name of the fragrance. The cap is kind of shaped like a heart. It's pretty heavy, metallic. It has a plastic insert which allows it to be held into place, and then you have a sticker at the bottom with information which should coincide with the ones found on the bottom of the box. And lastly, the distribution on this one is great. I just want to show you guys how well it sprays. It sprays out a lot of juice. And let's go ahead and take a look at the smell. Now, if I had to use a phrase to describe this fragrance, I would say, for me at least, it's hauntingly nostalgic. And usually when something is nostalgic, you want to bask in it, you want to enjoy it. It's not haunting or disconcerting for you in any way, but for me it kind of is, because with this fragrance, I can't quite put my finger on what it reminds me of. But it's something really sentimental, and I know it's something from my youth, and the only time I received any sort of confirmation or validation is when I look through the note breakdown. So what does this fragrance contain? It contains saffron. I smell a little bit of rose. It's not listed as a note. It has olibanum, which translates to frankincense, which is a very popular church incense. It has a lot of other spices in there, like nutmeg, and it even has agarwood in there, which is also known as oud wood. And you would think that this is going to be a spicy and challenging fragrance, and yes, it is spicy, but there's also like an herbal / culinary quality about it. I thought about it long and hard, and I was racking my brains over it. It actually reminds me of when I used to live in Greece. I used to live in Athens, Greece, in a town called Glyfada, and I remember my grandmother would always make food, and she would use a variety of different herbs and ingredients. She would use thyme, she would use saffron, and when I looked it up online, this fragrance does indeed contain both thyme and saffron, so it kind of smells like a Mediterranean spice rack, if you will, or a bazaar or something like that. But there's also this amazingly wearable quality about it, that it's fresh, it's inviting, it's appealing, it's conducive to receiving compliments, and I have received a few while wearing it, but this is one I wear mostly for myself, and it takes me down a certain path, and it puts me in a certain frame of mind. Like I said, it's nostalgic, but in such a good way. And I love wearing this fragrance, and it's a wonderful, wonderful blend of spices. And I think it's not a fragrance that you would expect to be bottled. It's a fragrance that you would expect to smell maybe in a kitchen, or you would expect to smell it in a candle, or maybe in potpourri. It's not something you would expect to smell in a bottle of fragrance, which is why I think a lot of people might not gravitate towards this fragrance at first. But I have to tell you guys, this is one that you really owe it to yourself to sampling. This is a wonderful scent. It's quickly climbed the ladder to becoming one of my favorite fragrances of all time, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my rating. First up, we have uniqueness and overall smell, and it's an incredibly unique scent. It's unlike anything I've ever smelled before, and it has this really amazing way of just transporting me to a different time and place in my life, and that's something that has not been replicated with any other scent that I've gotten my nose on that is akin to the memories that this one evokes. So it's fantastic, and the overall smell, like I said, is conducive to compliments, and it's incredibly pleasant. As far as longevity goes, I got about 8 to 9 hours on my skin. It does change a lot. It seems like a very transparent scent when you first spray it on, but it will progress on your skin. It will develop, it evolves, and so make sure to keep a close nose on it because it does change. And I think it changes for the better. I think it's this sort of concoction or this congregation or amalgamation of different spices in the opening, and then it settles to something that's a bit more wearable. I think it's wearable all in all, but I think it settles into something that people would want to get even closer to you so they can smell it better. Projection on this one was really good for like 2 to 2.5 hours. Then it started sitting closer to the skin. However, I don't think it ever radiated beyond an arm's length. It always kind of kept within this small bubble. And versatility on this one is really high. Because of the performance is good, I would recommend wearing it in colder weather, but because of the compositional nature, I don't get a lot of oud, I don't get a lot of incense. I know olibanum is listed as a note. This is no Cardinals Healy, it's no full incense by Montal. I don't get a lot of olibanum or frankincense. So for this one, versatility, I would have to give it a really high score because you can wear it all seasons, all occasions. It's a wonderful scent. And presentation on this one is second to none. Handcrafted, artisanal. I mean, it's super unique, one of a kind, even the cap. So if I were to give this fragrance an overall score, I would give it a 5 stars out of 5. Now, keep in mind that I love the scent. It's a very personal scent for me. It triggers a lot of positive memories. It transports me. I'm not saying that it's going to do that for you as well, but it's a fantastic fragrance, incredibly wearable. I would highly recommend you get yourself a sample of it. If you have any more questions about this fragrance, feel free to leave your comments down below. I'm also going to leave a link down below to where you can check out these products as well as the Fragrantica page, so you can learn a little bit more about them, perhaps do even a little bit of your own research. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. That was my review of Alfa by Mendittorosa. If you own or have tried this scent, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to rate and subscribe for future videos, top 10s, giveaways, unboxings, and a lot of other fragrance related content. So remember that I smell well so you can smell good. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.